What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's dive into TNA Impact from April the 11th, 2024. We are 1 week away until Rebellion. So next week will be the go-home show for Rebellion. Rebellion should be interesting for the most part. Hopefully we do get some surprises. The show was overall okay to decent. So we kicked the show off with a brawl that broke out between Hammerstone and Josh Alexander. Josh Alexander got busted open. Anyway, lame-ass Tommy Dreamer came out, broke the fight up. He sent Josh Alexander to the back, and he wanted to talk to Alexander Hammerstone. So, Tommy Dreamer says that he's talking to Alex in front of the greatest wrestling fans in the world, and he says Josh Alexander is the face of TNA, which he's not, and did it through hard work and great matches and busting his ass each week. Tommy Dreamer says he's the big reason why Hammerstone is here, because he's everything that Josh Alexander is. He says Hammerstone had one of the best debuts in the company, but now he's taking a shortcut. Tommy Dreamer says the Hammerstone name isn't cemented as a legacy yet, but it could be. Tommy Dreamer says jumping guys from behind isn't the way to go, and the crowd is the most honest out there, and Hammerstone knows that. Tommy Dreamer says it's about Hammerstone's future, and when they meet, they can have the best match, and go in the back and tell the guys to top that. Tommy Dreamer says he loves Philly, and then let's have a good show. So then Tommy Dreamer's about to leave, and then Hammerstone puts him in the torture rack. And then Josh Alexander, he comes back out there again for the second time to make the save. And then he challenges Alexander Hammerstone to a match at Rebellion, and it's going to be a last man standing match. Okay, cool. This is cool, but I could have done without Tommy Dreamer. This is not good. I don't understand why the fuck Tommy Dreamer is still on TNA Impact Television. It just boggles the mind. It really does. I don't get it. I am so ready for him to go somewhere else. I'm so over Tommy Dreamer, Frankie Kazarian, Eddie Edwards, Moose, Brian Myers, all these bums. I'm ready for all of them to go. All of them. But Hammerstone and Josh Alexander in a last man standing match rules that could kick major ass. Hammerstone definitely needs to go over. If Josh doesn't want to be in TNA anymore after what happened with Scott D'Amore getting fired a few months ago, a little bit before the Royal Rumble, if that's still the case and Josh Alexander doesn't want to be in TNA anymore, then Josh Alexander just needs to spend the rest of the year putting people over, and he definitely needs to put over Hammerstone for sure, because I think that Hammerstone and Nick Nemeth are going to be the main two people that TNA build the company around. It's just a fact. Moving on. So this was fun. First match of the night. Crazy Steve retained his digital media championship via DQ against Laredo Kid. He tried to rip out the mask of Laredo Kid. That pissed him off. And then he snapped. And the official called for the bell. So that's fine, I guess. Not really all that important, but it is what it is. I guess they'll run the rematch either next week or they'll run it at Rebellion. But Laredo Kid does need to be a champion. Moving on. So, Khan, he's backstage being locked up ahead of the Monsters Ball main event. Same thing with PCO. Moving on from that. So, Alex Shelley, he's backstage with Chris Sabin and Kushida. And he says that he can't do it anymore. He feels like he needs to apologize Shelley says that he owes Kushida an apology especially, and has been trying to do things on his own, but Kushida threw in the towel in his best interest. So then Alex Shelley apologizes to Chris Sabin, and they say that they're better as a group. Chris Sabin agrees, and says that they're strong as a group, and they haven't had much success individually. And then they do a group hug. Okay, cool. Now, I'm hoping that the Motor City Machine Guns will either show up in WWE or AEW, because their contracts are officially up. They're no longer with TNA, which is good. They need to kind of end their careers in either WWE or AEW. So SmackDown tomorrow night will take place in Detroit. And that's cool because maybe the Motor City Machine Guns could possibly show up. I don't think that they're going to show up at Dynasty next weekend. I don't think that's going to happen. It wouldn't make any sense as to why they would show up for what. So hopefully they go to WWE, that being the Motor City Machine Guns. But this was fine. Moving on. So First Class, which is AJ Francis and Rich Swann, they defeated ABC, which is Ace Austin and Chris Bay. They defeated them. So I feel bad for Chris Bay and Ace Austin. These guys deserve better. These guys could definitely be doing better. They definitely need to be in WWE for sure. They would instantly fit in with the guys in NXT for sure. They would definitely lighten up that tag division, and they would also do pretty well as single stars over in NXT. In AEW, they would just get lost in the shuffle. They'd be doing stuff on Rampage and Collision. Moving on. Well, no. Post-match, Joe Hendry, he came out post-match, and he says he wanted to give Rich Swann the chance to explain himself as to why he aligned himself with AJ Francis, but instead, Swann said something like this, and then he does the little rap to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which was great, and he calls AJ Francis Fat Uncle Phil, so AJ's not happy about that, nor is Rich Swann. The crowd chants Uncle Phil. Joe Hendry said he knows that they have a busy schedule, so he talked to Santino, and at Rebellion, he's going to face Rich Swann one-on-one. Oh, joy. This is going to be great. Not really. Who gives a shit? Again, Joe Hendry is another person who could be higher up on the card. He actually could end up being a world champion. Like, TNA could build the company around Nick Nemeth, Joe Hendry, Joe Hendry, Hammerstone, and Steve Macklin. Like, those could be like your top 4 guys. Like your top 4 main eventers. But I just feel bad for Joe Hendry because he actually needs to be higher on the card for sure. Like, he's got charisma. He's very athletic. Great character and gimmick. I just don't understand why he's not being pushed more. But such is life. Hopefully he can get out of TNA in due time, because I feel like he deserves better. Moving on. So, Santino Marella, he's backstage. He's heading somewhere. But then he's stopped by George Iceman, which is great. So George Iceman is the guy who was asked by Elegance, a.k.a. Dana Brooks' personal concierge. So we finally got a name. So George says that that they wanted to talk to Santino because Ash won last week, but they didn't get a chance to talk. So George says Steph DeLander was competing in the 8-4-1 match, and in Ash's place, but Ash is ready, so they just have to. They just need the contract. Santino says that's not exactly how things work, and it's not going to happen. And then so both Ash by Elegance and George Iceman, they freak out, which was funny. So pretty cool. Moving on. But actually, before we move on, I think what they're going to end up doing with Ash by Elegance, she's going to be the one to dethrone Jordynne Grace, but that'll probably happen around Slammiversary. I feel like Steph DeLander is just there just to be there at this point in time, and then she'll be on the Indies once again, like Matt Cardona. So that's, they're just going to do just a couple of dates for TNA, and that's it. And they'll, do stuff for GCW, MLW, NWA, the Indies, just all that. So I think Ash by Elegance, I think she's going to be the one to dethrone Jordynne Grace, and it'll happen at Slammiversary. I forgot that event. It's the in July. It's like their version of SummerSlam. So, yeah. Moving on. So, Mustafa Ali, he's backstage, and he finds that Grizzled Young Veterans are saying an injustice is about to occur, and Santino is still allowing Jake something to have an exhibition title match. So, Grizzled Young Vets said they don't pick fights with someone like Jake unless it makes sense. So, Jake comes in and says the match is happening, whether Ali likes it or not. And then he walks off, and the three of them start talking. So, it is what it is. That's fine, I guess. Moving on. So, Santino Marella, he's in the ring. He talks about the 8-4-1 match. And he introduces Steph DeLander and Matt Cardona. So, Jordynne Grace, she signs the contract first. Basically, Matt Cardona gets on the mic. He says, all hail the deathmatch king and queen. Who gives a shit? He demands a show of respect for Steph and says she's won titles all over the world and will win the TNA Knockouts Championship. So then Steph DeLander, she signs a contract. Jordynne Grace gets on the mic and says that she appreciates that they're both here. It takes a lot of confidence to come back after all this time, and thinks she's gonna roll over and let Steph take what she's fought so hard for. She says she's earned every accolade and is a 3-time Knockouts champion, the first ever queen of the mountain, first woman to win the Collier Strike Gauntlet, the first ever digital media champion. So Matt Cardona points out that he beat her for it. And Jordynne Grace asks if Matt Cardona is going to do all the talking. So Steph gets on the mic and she says that she's had a busy year too and plenty of championships. She gets jumping on an opportunity. But Jordynne Grace is distracted between the bodybuilding, the Royal Rumble, and her focus is not on the title. It's like, why even say that in a promo? The Royal Rumble was like 3 months ago. Like, that's not even fucking important. Why even bring that up in a promo? That's so dumb. Jordynne Grace says repping TNA has always been her top priority, and she does that by defending the title against every challenger, even Steph. Jordynne says she wears many hats because she prides herself on outworking everyone, and she knows that she'll work harder than Steph at Rebellion and retain her title. And she knows that because she's already beaten her boyfriend, and her boyfriend's wife, a.k.a. Chelsea Green. And then she says she's more than happy to do that again because she's the juggernaut. Then she says, bitch. And then Matt Cardona tells her not to call her that. And she says she's not talking to Steph. She calls Matt Cardona a bitch. She signs the contract. They shake hands. Jordynne Grace doesn't let go. Then Cardona, he gets Jordynne Grace into a headbutt. So Grace, she attacks Steph the Lander. And then Santino Marella, he dips out of dodge. Jordynne Grace goes for a powerbomb, but Steph the Lander reverses it. Matt Cardona attacks her, and then Steph the Lander does a choke slam through the table. So nice. Pretty cool little stuff there, I guess. This is fine. Again, we know that Steph the Lander isn't going to win anything at all. This is just something for Jordynne Grace to do to buy time until Slammiversary. Moving on. So Masha Slamovich, she's cutting a promo in Russian, or trying to. She's interrupted by the system, Eddie Edwards, Alyssa Edwards, and Brian Myers. And I wanted to burn my fucking television. They ask her what she thought about their offer. Eddie says she didn't have a partner for their title shot, and she can team with Alicia and still have a chance. So then Masha, she responds in Russian, and then she leaves, which is great because she confused the system. This sucks. I feel bad for Masha. Masha doesn't need to be in this position. I think what they're going to do is it's either going to be Masha or Killer Kelly when she gets back to kind of feud with Jordynne Grace up until we get into Slammiversary. That's what it seems like. So that's why that is what could happen. Moving on. Johnathan Gresham. This is part 2. So he's in therapy still, and he's asked about why he feels he needs to hide behind a mask and to feel hurt. Johnathan Gresham says that he has 3 masks: the one he shows to the world, the one he shows to friends and family, and the one he hasn't been able to show anyone. And that the person that the person that says one is the truest reflection of who he is or who we are. So this is interesting. I'm liking this. I don't know where they're going with this. It seems like they're going to turn him heel, though. It just seems like it. Because he always does these dastardly smiles and stuff. This is like the second time he's done it. So I could see him turning heel. But I could also see him bringing a faction with him, which is interesting because he did mention we in the promo as well. So that was kind of interesting. That kind of caught me by surprise right there. He said, oh, okay, I get it. So he might be bringing in a faction with him, which would be pretty cool. Moving on. Moose defeated Trent Seven. Okay, cool. Not really that important. So post-match, the system, they beat down on Mike Bailey, but Time Machine, they come out and make the save. Moving on. So, the system, they're pissed off about what happened. They look to find Santino. They find him. They said he's got to do something about Time Machine. Brian Moss said maybe they'll do something about it. So Santino makes a tag match. And then Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, they protest. So Mike Bailey and Trent Seven, they're okay with it. So basically, it's going to be the Mercy Machine Guns versus Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. And then whoever wins that will face Speedball Mike Bailey and Trent Seven. Okay, that's fine. Not really all that important. We already know that the system's going to win. Who really gives a shit? Moving on. So, Jake something, he defeated James Drake of the Grizzly Young Veterans. He won via Into the Void. So that's fine, I guess. So Mustafa Ali, he comes out with his protesters. He tries to get another Jake chant going. So then Jake, he dives over the rope. Moving on. Jake something, he defeated James Drake via Into the Void. Post-match, Mustafa Ali came out. The Grizzled Young Vets beat down Jake something. Lame ass, worthless ass, get off my TV. Diener came out to make the save, but it was to no avail. Mustafa Ali took the advantage, and he hit Jake something in the head with the X Division Championship, which was great. So this is great. Love this. Can we please get rid of Diener, Moose, Brian Myers, and everyone else? I'm tired of these lame clowns that they have on TNA. I'm sick of it. Moving on, main event, Monsters Ball, PCO versus Khan. PCO gets the win via the PCO. So who cares? All these matches are the fucking same. We've seen 10 million of these. We just now saw 10,000,001. It does nothing. This meant nothing. Who cares? It's not all that important. I'm tired of Khan. I'm tired of PCO. I'm tired of this shit. This is fucking annoying. So, all in all, TNA was okay. I really like what they're doing with Mustafa Ali and Jake something. I like what they're doing involving Johnathan Gresham. I love what they're doing with Nick Nemeth and Moose. That should be fun. Nick Nemeth definitely needs to win at Rebellion. Jordynne Grace and Steph the Lander, to me, that's fine. It's just like a little appetizer, I guess. Again, they'll probably either bring in Masha Stamovich or Killer Kelly to kind of hold Jordynne Grace over until they inevitably do Ash by Elegance and Jordynne Grace. They have a feud. Jordynne Grace, she deserves better. She really does. She's a good talent. And I hope that she does go to WWE or AEW. She would be a perfect fit in either promotion. I just feel that she does deserve better. She's done everything in TNA. There's just nothing else she can do. There's nothing more she can do. She's done it all. She's like Deonna Purrazzo. She's done it all. And Jordynne Grace really should have been out of TNA last year when she went away for a little bit. She never really should have came back. She should have went to WWE. I think she would have been perfect in NXT. The number of women that she could work with. Fallon Henley, Roxanne Perez, and so many others. Lyra Valkyria. So I don't know, but Jordynne Grace has got to get out of TNA. But like I said before, TNA was okay. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.